Myself, I'm Ganesh. I have almost 13 years of experience in terms of corporate experience. Okay. And my current skill, my primary skill set is Tableau and secondary skill set is business objects. So from past 4.5 years, I'm working with the Tableau with all the base versions. Okay. And apart from that, Tableau, coming to my domain expertise, right? I have very strong knowledge in the areas of banking and financial services and retail sector and pharmaceutical sector and telecom sector. So this is my domain knowledge. And apart from this domain knowledge, I also given more than I have trained more than 500 students. Okay, more than 500 students only with the online training, and the corporate trainings I have done almost 30 to 40. Okay, so that is about my details. And coming to my overseas experience, I have 7 years of on-site experience, guys. Earlier, I used to work in one of the gigantic customer in California. I was there for 7 years. So this is my quick introduction to all of you. Okay, let me give a bird's eye view on this Tableau. Okay, I mean to say, I'm going to let you know what is the functionality of this and what sort of content that we are going to use within this and how are we going to proceed in our upcoming sessions and what is the fundamentals of this. Everything I'm going to take care of it. Okay. Yep, guys. So yes, let me start with a quotation that is a good sketch is better than a long speech, guys. Yes. The reason I'm saying is, let's say I can give a continuously 2 to 3 hours of a lecture, speech, but instead of that, if I show you with a better visualizations, if I continue my speech with a better visualizations, that sessions would be very attractive, right? So that is the reason I'm saying that a good sketch is better than a long speech. That is what even Tableau also. See, here we go. With the help of this Tableau, you can able to generate a sophisticated reports like this. Okay, so that is the reason I said a good sketch is better than a long speech. Okay, instead of talking on this some kind of a stuff, just come up with some representations of your data so that you will have, what is that? Data visualization tool, which means we can visualize the data with a better representations. Okay, of your organizational data, so that you can easily analyze, you can evaluate your organizational strengths, weaknesses, and it can be helpful for the decision making purpose. Okay, that is the reason it is called as data visualization. Okay, which means your organizational data can be visualized in a better way. Okay, and the another one is where we can also call it as data discovery tool, which means with a proper analysis of your organizational data, you can discover your organizational data. I mean to say, like new growth opportunities and pitfalls of your business, etc., can be identified via this Tableau. Okay, and it is also self-reporting tool. Self-reporting tool in the sense, customers being as a business user and the top management or the middle management or the low-level management of your organizations, right? They can able to generate their organizational data. They can generate their organizational data instantaneously in an ad hoc manner. Okay, and moreover, it is a strong analytical tool. Strong analytical tool in the sense, you can analyze your organizational data in effective way, so that you can take right decisions at right time. So that is the beauty with the Tableau, guys. Okay, now look at this, guys. By looking at this diagram, can you, any one of you, tell me how many number of nines we have? Is that easy? Yes, you can identify it. I am agree with it. I'm not denying that. But don't you think it is going to take a good amount of time? Yeah, and sometimes since you are having huge volume of data, you might miss out a couple of numbers also, isn't it? So then with this kind of a data, why can't I introduce Tableau to identify the number 9? Here we go. See, so that the required data you can easily identify in this way, isn't it? So that you can effectively analyze, and definitely you won't miss any type of your organizational data. This is just an example, guys. Okay, so this is what, so the intervention of a Tableau, okay, is having very sophisticated and advanced approaches to deal with your organizational data, guys. Okay, what is the advantage with the Tableau, right? So Tableau allows the ability to control in real-time data. Yes, in case if you take a kind of telecom sectors and banking sectors, right? There you have a huge volume of a data, and it allows the control ability to identify some portions of your data, like risk management, asset management, banking, internet banking, such kind of a journals. With you can control that real-time data very easily. Okay, and with the limited volume of a data, you can visualize it very efficiently, which is nothing but over a periodical time of a data, you can also visualize it very effectively and efficiently. And and it is useful for the analysis and exploration purpose, guys. Exploration in the sense, yes, you are going to explore your organizational data with a different representation, so that you can pass on the right information to the right person. Okay, and moreover, with the help of a Tableau, we can introducing a distributed decision making, so that we can distribute the reports to the top level management, middle level management, and to the low level management guys. Okay, and just like he is working in what, uh, as a analyst, which means what, Yadagiri basically is a non-technical person, which means he is a domain expert, he is a data expert, but he is not a technical expert. But the guys who is having a domain expertise, data expertise knowledge, they can deal with this domain data with the help of a Tableau very easily. Okay, so that they can, since they are a data experts, they can analyze, they can visualize their organizational data also. That is also possible. And this is an effective visuals, and it is very easy to understand. Okay, guys. And in terms of cost efficiency, and it is low maintenance cost. Okay, you no need to put millions of dollars, something like that, for your maintenance of your Tableau platform, which is very cost efficiency. So that is the reason most of the organizations are looking forward with Tableau. Okay. Now look at this. As I told you, with the help of a Tableau, right, guys, you can able to generate this kind of a sophisticated reports. Okay, so that end users, by looking at one place through his smartphones or through his laptop or through some web portal, whatever it is, they can visualize their organizational data very effectively and very efficiently, so that they can take right decision at right time, and they can do a comparisons of a periodical data, everything, whatnot, everything can be done. Okay, and this is one sort of an example, guys, with the Tableau. See, you can able to generate the data with the different sales representatives, how the fluctuations is happening on across the months, and what is the actual versus budgets, etc. Okay. Now, for example, look at this. With the help of this Tableau report, right? With the help of this Tableau report, you can identify the number of the growth and what is the pitfalls, what is happening across the year, like that. Okay. And look at this. This is in healthcare sector, where you can easily identify, for example, how many number of sugar patients you have, and what is their peak timings. Okay, look at the timings, and what is the days, which month, okay, etc., which month it is. Okay, and moreover, what is the percentage ratio respective to the, their levels, sugar levels, etc. So even such kind of a stuff also can be easily achievable via Tableau, guys. Okay, and look at this. In the areas of like beverages and drinks, such kind of a stuff, where you can identify your stocks with respect to your competitors across the years. See, in between the 10-year span of time, what is the ratio that is happening? The trend market analysis you can do with this help of a Tableau. Okay, and you can also identify the GDP. Okay, GDP ratios respective to the years with respect to some specific countries. That is one thing that you can easily achieve it. And not only that, you can also identify the crime ratio in respect to some specific countries, some specific regions. Okay, look at this. The red color is indicating high crime ratio. The green color is indicating no crime ratio. The white color is indicating moderate crime ratio. And what are the top 10 crime ratio countries, and what is the sources of, to dealing that kind of activities, all those things. Okay, you can easily achieve via Tableau. Okay, guys. And where is this Tableau is being used? Yes, this Tableau is being used across the various sectors of your organizations, like banking and analytics, education reporting, game development, government analytics, healthcare analytics, investing and wealth management, manufacturing analytics, oil and gas analytics, real estate analytics, retail analytics, science, in the areas of science and sports management, supply chain management, nothing but your transportations, nothing but logistics, okay, and telecommunication analytics, etc., can be used. Okay, guys. And now you can ask me a question. Why should I choose Tableau, though I have a different traditional reporting tools as well as advanced reporting tools? Right. Why should I opt as a career opportunity with the Tableau? Yes. You know what, guys? We have traditional reporting tools like Cognos, MicroStrategy, SSRS, OBI, WebFocus, SAP BO, right? Plenty of traditional reporting tools, which means where you used to maintain a data warehouse, and with the help of that data warehouse, you will be having some metadata layers, and then you will be generating a report. Okay, that is what the traditional reporting. But advanced reporting like Tableau, right? You no need to have a metadata layer concept here. You can directly interact with the data sources, and the traditional tools is not having this kind of a sophisticated visualizations. Only the Tableau is having, and not only that, it is with a better, faster performance, as well as it is more and more, it is a user driven, and you are going to store the data with the concepts of in-memory, okay, in-memory tool and cost effectiveness. And you know what, guys, let me tell you. Okay, we have some third party, okay, survey, okay. Look at this, Gartner's. So this is kind of a, I can say like an agency, okay, where they have did some kind of a R&D. What kind of a business intelligence tools are playing what kind of a role? Look at this, guys. Okay, which they have done at a February 2015. Okay, very recent, I can say. Yeah. Now look at this. Look at this. The Tableau is standing in #1 position. The other reporting tools, reporting applications, so far away. Okay, far away. Okay, guys. Look at this. SAP BO, MicroStrategy, Cognos. Okay. Right. TIBCO softwares and Logi Analytics, Burst, ClickView. Okay. Open text actuate tools, etc. So the Tableau is standing in #1 position, which means most of the customers are using Tableau, guys. Okay, so definitely you are learning a matured reporting, advanced solutions. Okay, right, guys. That is one of the proof for you. Okay, now basically Tableau also is having very simple architecture. It is not so highly complicated architecture. Okay, where technical persons, okay, where they can easily deal with this kind of architecture. Anyhow, during our regular sessions, I'm going to elaboratively deal with this architecture. Okay, but to give a short note on top of it, look at this. We have different applications like Tableau Desktop, okay, and where we can interact with the Tableau reports through iPads and through Android phones, smartphones, whatnot. Okay, so with we used to have a layers called in-memory and live connections to interact with the respective data sources, which is helpful, guys. Okay. Anyhow, the moment I am starting up our running classes, okay, we are going to dig into very deeply. Okay. And one more thing is, Tableau is mainly dependent on few applications. Now look at this. The Tableau product lines, whatever it is being used under the umbrella of a Tableau, we have these product lines. We'll be using Tableau Desktop, guys. As a developer, we will be using Tableau Desktop. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of this Tableau Desktop? Now look at this. This Tableau Desktop is interacting with the sources. Okay. So what kind of a data sources it supports? Because, guys, Tableau is a front-end application. Look at this. This is a front-end application. I mean to say, you can able to generate this kind of reports, but how am I getting a data, right? So which means you should have some source for that. So Tableau Desktop. So with the help of this Tableau Desktop, you can able to generate reports. So this Tableau Desktop, by interacting with the different data sources, you can generate a report. Now let me tell you right away. Okay, what kind of a data sources your Tableau supports. Let me show you right away. Okay. Just an example, guys. Look at this. Your Tableau desktop supports, look at this, so many data sources, more than 40 to 50. I mean, say not more than 45 data sources it supports, guys. Look at this. Okay, Oracle, okay, Salesforce, SAP HANA, okay, Teradata, IBM DB2, IBM Vertica, Hadoop, Google Cloud, Google BigQuery, Google Analytics, whatnot, and even it supports text files, Excel, flat files, whatnot. Okay, it supports these many data sources. Okay, and that is one thing. Okay, now with the help of this Tableau desktop, right, top right, as I said, you can able to develop the reports. Now here we go, guys. Tableau desktop. What is the main purpose? Modeling and reporting. What is that? Modeling and report. Now look at this. All of your development is done here. Okay, like creating reports, charts, formatting, and etc. etc. Let me show you right away, guys, how I can develop a report through Tableau desktop. I'm going to show you with a simple example. Okay, let me show you with a simple example, and it is very easy, guys. Okay, very easy. Now look at this. This is what tables, nothing but your sheets available in your Excel. Okay, sheet 1 is orders. Just you need to double click on top of it. Now look at this. The data is populated automatically. And next again another sheet, that is people sheet. Now look at this, and again returns. Okay, look at this, the joins, like inner join, left outer join, right outer join, full outer join, whatnot. Okay, as per your need basis you can change this. Now this is what your source data. Okay, now if I go to worksheet, so there, see, just to drag and drop you can develop a reports. Now here we go, guys. Now look at this. For example, let's say I have a category, okay, and I have subcategory. Just drag and drop. Okay, now look at this. And I have some measure, that is what? Sales. Look at this. You know what? See, look at this, guys. You can able to generate this kind of a sophisticated reports. See, look at this. Okay, and see the same stuff. You can represent with a different notations of a data. Now look at this. See, technology. Okay, like this. And do you want to apply a filter? Look at this. Very simple. Subcategory, right click, see, show quick filter. Now look at this. I would like to see only accessories, see, and then some kind of stuff like this. Okay, and do you want, if you click all, yes, here we go. Now look at this. For example, see, I would like to have a representation of a data like this. Okay, right, and look at this again. Let's say I would like to have order date, example. Look at this. See, it's very developer friendly. Look at the nature. Now, the moment I expand this year, see, it is going to quarter. Okay, see, look at this. Now, the moment I expand quarter, it is going to month, because it is following some hierarchy. See how sophisticated it is, guys. Very sophisticated. So all this kind of a development we will be performing at a Tableau desktop level. Okay, all the development activity will be performing at a Tableau desktop level, guys. Okay, likewise, so you have plenty of stuff that you can perform over here. See, look at this. Now, do you want to see any specific data like this? You can apply some sort of filters like that. See, this is the beauty of a Tableau, guys. This is just an example. Okay, so likewise you can create miraculous reports with the help of a Tableau, right? So that is what you can able to achieve through Tableau desktop. Okay, so what is the meaning here? Yes, Tableau desktop is exclusively helpful for the modeling and reporting, guys. Okay, as I said, all the development activities of the Tableau reports will be done here. Okay, like extracting the source data, applying filters, parameters, and dynamic visualizations, etc. can be done at a Tableau desktop level, right? And guys, basically the Tableau desktops are two types, guys. One is personal desktop and another one is professional desktop. Okay, personal desktop and professional desktop. So personal desktop is cost around $999, okay, which is nothing but a license. Okay, a single license costs around $999, but it is having certain disadvantages. Okay, because it is recommended to have only at your personal system. where you cannot distribute your reports to your organizational users. Okay, and it accepts only six plus data sources connections. It won't accept more than that. So that is the reason in a realistic world, these personal desktops are not recommended to use. I mean, mostly they won't use. So in the real-time scenarios, what is the regularly used application? That is what? Professional desktop. The professional desktop license costs around $1,999, and it supports more than 45 data source connections. Okay, and this is what. Okay, and with the help of this professional desktop, you can develop a report and you can publish them to the web and to the mobiles, etc., etc. can be done. Okay, and Tableau to maintenance wise also, it is, you don't require any high-end configurations, guys. Very nominal. I mean, I can adequate. I mean, nominal hardware configurations it requires. And guys, you know what? It supports only Windows and Mac operating system. It won't support Unix operating system. It won't support unique operating system. Okay, and for the maintenance purpose, you need only 2 GB memory of RAM and 750 megabytes of minimum free disk to install this Tableau desktop. Okay, right, guys, and keep a note. At this moment, it is not supporting Unix platform. It is supporting only Windows as well as the Mac operating systems. Okay, guys. Now look at this. The another component, as I told you, right? Look at this. I told you, right? What is the other one? That is what? Tableau Server. Okay, Tableau Server. No. Yes. Tableau Server is what? It is an online solution for sharing, distributing, and collaborating the content which is created in Tableau, which means it is shareable, secured, and mobile distribution. So your reports can be distributed to the Tableau Server to the respective end users. Okay, and moreover, it is purely administrative application, which means to create the user and to apply the rights on top of it user, like authorizations, etc., etc. Okay, and it is purely web-based. Nothing but it is URL-based application, guys. What is that? It is a URL-based application, and it is a tool for administrative activities. As I told you, right? It is a tool for administrative activities. So let me show you right away. Okay. Now look at this, guys. I'll show you how this server functionality will work. Okay. Now look at this. So as I told you, right, it is purely web-based application. Tableau Server is what? It is purely a web-based application. Now here we go. Okay, so you will have username and password as administrator. Okay, now look at this. So we're used to perform all sort of admin activities. Okay, providing rights, etc., etc. If you want to use this report, right, you should have rights, guys. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay, and look at this, permissions, subscriptions. Subscription is nothing but scheduling a report. Okay, see, look at this, and what kind of a data sources you do have, what sort of views you have. Okay, so to download a report, you should have rights, etc., etc. So now look at this, creation of users, okay, and creation of user groups, okay, schedules, tasks, status, and settings, etc., etc. So all these kind of administrative activities will perform at a Tableau Server level, which is purely URL-based application, guys. Okay, which is purely what? URL-based application. Okay, look at this. So to see this report, right, you should have the rights. Then only you can able to visualize that report. Otherwise, you won't. So all these sort of activities you can perform via Tableau Server. Okay, so this is the beauty of a Tableau Server. And moreover, as I told you, look at this. For the maintenance purpose, right, it supports both 32-bit as well as a 64-bit operating system of purely Windows only, not Linux or something else. Okay, so if it is a 64-bit, you need 4 cores of CPU, 8 GB system memory, and 15 GB minimum free disk space. And in case if you are using 32-bit operating system, you should have 2 cores of CPU, 4 GB of system memory, and 15 GB of minimum free disk space. You should require all these things. Right, guys? And the another application called Tableau Reader. Look at this. As I mentioned, Tableau Reader. Look at this, Tableau Reader. So this is exclusively for the end users who would like to only have read rights on top of it. Now look at this. Tableau Reader is a free desktop application. Fine, yes, agreed. Which is helpful to interact with the data, which is built in Tableau Desktop, which means report will be developed with Tableau Desktop only. But a Tableau Reader, I mean, this report will be distributed to Tableau Reader application, where we can apply filters, drill down, view data, etc., can be done. But to do that activities also, you should have rights, which is designed by your Tableau administrator. Okay, guys. When you compare with the Tableau Server and Tableau Desktop, it is having certain limited options. Okay. And so what I can say is, let's say if you have a bunch of users who should have only view right, they cannot perform like filtering and drill down, etc. You are not supposed to, they're not supposed to have a modify rights. Then if that is the case, we can use this Tableau Reader. And maintenance wise, it is very easy. Okay. And it requires, as I told you, it supports Windows as well as the Mac operating system, and it is purely window based tool. Okay. Where it will have 2 GB of RAM, I mean for the maintenance purpose, and it requires 750 megabytes of free hard disk space. Okay. That is what Tableau Public. And the another one is, sorry, Tableau Reader, and the another one is Tableau Public. Look at this, guys. I told you, right? Look at this. This Tableau Public, which means the reports, whatever you developed through Tableau Desktop, I'm going to distribute it in a public. I mean to say I'm going to distribute to the wide audiences of the business. So the users who would like to interact with the data, they can throw some lights. I mean to say they can throw their inputs. For example, let's say you have a stock market, guys. Let's say I'm distributing into the market, so that what you can do your own analysis, and you can pass on your comments on top of it, right? Like stock market, and and some kind of a surveys. Okay, like elections, right? They do have some exit polls and all those things, right? So they will release in the market, and on top of it, they will ask expertise or users to throw some analysis on top of it. That is what Tableau Desktop. But here, for your organizational data, you don't have a confidentiality. So that is the reason, if you are having very highly sensitive data, Tableau Public is not recommended to distribute the reports through Tableau Public, because you don't have a confidentiality of the data. That is the reason, because any person, any user can use that report, and they can analyze, and they can interpret their own analysis. So that is what Tableau Public. But it is, when you compare with server and desktop, it is having certain limitations, guys. Okay. And it retrieves only some limited number of rows. You cannot retrieve some kind of very huge volume of a data. That is a restriction. And moreover, as I told you, there is no confidentiality of a data, guys. Okay. Now, the another component is Tableau Online. As I mentioned here, look at the architecture. Tableau Online. Okay. Tableau Online. Now, Tableau is online is nothing but it's purely data is on cloud. I mean to say all the activities of the Tableau will be performing on the cloud system, but it is purely supported by Tableau for the product of the Tableau itself. But it needs some subscription fees, guys. You need to pay some additional fees for that. But at this moment, Tableau Online is supporting only limited data sources like Google BigQuery, Amazon Redshift, MySQL, and Microsoft SQL Server, and PostgreSQL. So such kind of limited data sources it supports. Right, guys? So this is what. So only these 5 applications you have. Only these 5 applications. And moreover, very frequently we will be using Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server in the real-time scenarios. Very frequently. As a developer, I can say. Okay. As an end user, yes, you can use Tableau Server, Tableau Public, Tableau Reader also you can use. Okay, guys. Yeah. And Tableau, right, is having each and every Tableau report is having certain extensions. Probably like the moment once I start up with the regular sessions, I'm going to explain you elaboratively what is the purpose of each and every extension and what is the purpose of a file. I'm going to take it forward. Okay. Now, so this is a simple architecture, guys, where you have your organizational data and you have some connectors here and you have some main components, as I told you, right, like data server or whatever it is. Okay. And then gateways, nothing but the interactivities between the desktop and mobile and web browsers, etc., etc. It is entire client architecture we used to call it as, okay, which is highly scalable. Okay. And look at this, guys. the Tableau Desktop is interacting with so many data sources, and then I'm going to distribute that Tableau Desktop, which is developed a report via Tableau Desktop. I'm going to distribute to Tableau Server, so that end users through mobiles or Internet Explorer, whatnot, they can easily explore the reports. Okay, so this is another architecture in a simplistic way, right, guys? So far, any questions?
So
Yes.
what is the role for a technical guy like me who will come and develop a BI report, and going further that will be taken care of by the business users? Means
Exactly.
as you told you that business users can also change the report, manipulate the reports. So
Exactly.
if I'm today developing a report and I'm sending towards the business user, they can further modify it. So what will be the existence of my on a particular, how I will be accountable for the report? Means
Exactly, Ajit.
currently what
Yeah,
my
I agree with
experience
you. I
is,
got your point. Okay.
yeah.
Now,
Hmm.
see, end users can able to generate the reports up to some extent. But if the report is highly complicated, I mean to say, if they need any customizations of a data, customization representations of a data, then they need expertise like us. Okay, that is one thing. Got me?
Yeah.
And second thing is, for the maintenance of these reports, let's say one user is running a report, but that report is running very slowly. But the same report, when he ran yesterday, it was working, it was giving the results within a short span of time. But today, the same report is taking more than 10 minutes of time. So who has to fix that issue? That is what maintenance, right? So for that maintenance activities, they need a technical expertise like us. Okay. And moreover, customers, let's say, they might not have a technical knowledge. So in few situations, due to the high end of customizations, they might not, in a full-fledged way, they cannot accommodate it. So they can generate the reports ad hoc basis up to some extent only. But beyond that, they need an expertise like us. So that is the reason they need a technical expertise also. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Is that answer your question, Arjit?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have a quick question. I mean, say I'm just giving a quick instance. Let's say you have 4 tables, and I'm creating a report that is directly related with those 4 tables, and my report shows up the way you are showing a few minutes back.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to see the SQL query which behind, does Tableau give me the permission that what is the SQL that it is using to generate that report?
So basically, right, this is a visualization tool, Saurabh. Okay. If it is a traditional tool, yes, agreed. Whatever you said is correct. Okay. So that is the reason while you are developing a report itself, okay, while you are developing a report itself at a Tableau desktop level, you have data source component. Okay. It will let you know the type of a joins, whatever you are using. Okay. But the SQL, if you need a SQL, yes, that is possible. But in terms of a data visualizations, right, it is not required basically. If it is an analytical information, then I agree with you. Okay, because everything is portraying here itself. Okay.
Yeah, Ganesh, I understand that Tableau is giving me the suggested joins that should go behind. But why I'm asking this question is that there is no guarantee that the performance of the report will be very good. So once the report
Okay.
gets deployed, the way you were saying, right, that's where we'll come for maintenance. Some performance issue happens, and I need to do a tuning of that report.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
how will I know that where I have to do the tuning if I'm not aware of the what is the SQL deadlock, whatever it is happening? How
Yes.
will I interpret it?
Yes. That's a good point. See, that is the reason, right? Based upon the tables which are being used, so you have to write it down a customized scripting. Okay, you have to write it down a customized scripting, and in case whatever the tables which is being used, right, for those tables at a data source level, either you can create some indexes, okay, or materialized reviews, etc., can be done. But yes, I agree with you. The reason because it won't give you an inbuilt SQL, the reason because the representations of the architecture, and moreover we have a concept called with SQL. The SQL and everything will be taken care at a, I mean, the intelligence, the Tableau is having that intelligence inbuilt. So that is the reason by default it won't show you the SQL. So for that, you need to put some manual efforts. Okay, Saurabh. So that is the reason the performance tuning can be done at a Tableau level as well as at a data source level in terms of like, creating indexes, materialized reviews or views, etc., can be done. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Arjit.
Ganesh,
Uh,
is there any, like all other traditional reporting tool has a manual reports functionality where we can make a report out of a SQL query. Like I
Yes,
worked in
absolutely possible. I mean,
API.
without having a SQL, right? That is what you are saying, right?
Yeah, means suppose today some requirements came, we want to generate the report today. The
Mm-hmm.
SQL we have already, so we have to
Mm-hmm.
generate the report top of it. So in most of the reporting tools has a manual reports functionality where we can directly put the SQL and top of it we can generate the report.
Okay, okay.
So
Custom SQL. You would like to represent a custom SQL. Is that what you are looking?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that is what
Like,
even Saurabh also asking, right? Yes, you can implement that functionality. I'm not denying that. Yes, you can implement it. Directly, you can write down the custom SQL and you can generate a report. Yes, that is absolutely possible. But you should have some relevancy with your source data. That is what I can say. Okay, but that is absolutely possible. I agree with that. But you don't need to
Okay.
do that activity also because it is self-explanatory. You don't need to write down a custom SQL. If you have all these fields, right, just drag and drop. But on top of it, if you want, look at this. You can write down some calculations. Look at this. Your SQL functionalities you can written. Okay, see string, date, okay, and conversions of a data, okay, and aggregate functions. See, this kind of a customizations you can perform. Absolutely, you can perform. Okay, see, absolutely that can be done. Right, Arjit? Is that answer your question?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So let me show
okay.
you right away. Let me show you right away what is the course content that we are going to take it forward. Okay, here we go. Look at this, guys. Of course, this topics is dealing with what is the importance of a visualizations and why it is required, etc., etc. And here I'm going to focus on the fundamental aspects like how to deal with the Tableau interfaces, what is meant by dimension, measures, how to interact with the data sources, etc., etc., and what is Tableau workspace, etc., etc. And then Tableau advanced, as Saurabh and who is that? Arijit. Yeah, Arijit was asking. I'm going to deal with the custom SQL also, and then how to export the data, the sizing and transparencies, table calculations, Dale calculations. These are all advanced topics. Okay, and then visual analytics. Visual analytics is how we can group the data, how we can apply filtering, cross tabs, publishing a report to PDF, and etc. etc. And then once it is done, Tableau Server. Okay, where I'm going to touch base with the installations also. I'm going to help you out with Tableau Desktop installation as well as the Tableau Server installations. Everything will be taken care, guys. Okay, so this is what. And then administration. I told you, right? Administration. Our course content consists both development as well as administration.